How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is currently running its games under $15 sale, its March sale, and want to take a look at both of those sales and games under the price of $10 and $5. Gotta cover both of these, so we play some catch up as these sales are about to end, but you got a couple more days to check out the deals available. We got a lot of deals to go over in this video, so let's just try to go through it quickly. Remember that this sale ends this coming Thursday. I believe it's 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, so jump on these deals as soon as possible. They're only going to be available for a little bit longer. I'll be a little bit better covering the Remasters and Retro sale. Capcom Publishers sale, you guys know what that's all about. So let's get right into it. Let's start things off with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, 90% off for $3.99. Look, we're coming up on the release of Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Reality is that game's going to be $70, and maybe a lot of you guys are not going to be also eager to pick it up day one. If you haven't played Jedi Fallen Order, you absolutely should play it before you even think about getting Jedi Survivor. Jedi Survivor is a direct sequel, and let's talk about Jedi Fallen Order as it's a fantastic game. Great combat, great PlayStation 5 version as well with some awesome performance. The only thing that was a real slight to this game was its map. Not even the map design, it's just like the overlay map was just atrocious to look at. Hopefully that is remedied in the sequel, but visually it looks great. Thought the story was good, and I'm not a big Star Wars guy, but I thought Cal was a really likable main character. So $4 for Jedi Fallen Order, I think that's a pretty good buy. Next up, Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition, $4. Tuck away the kids when you play this one, because this is a game with some absolutely visceral language, let's put it that way. Some degenerate language, to say the least. But it's a fun, over-the-top first-person shooter that I would never recommend at full price or even at like $40, $50, but at $4, it's a good time, and it's a game that you can just mentally uncheck, much like what I talk about Just Cause 3 being in the open world style of games. Bulletstorm is kind of that for a first-person shooter, and it's a lot of fun from an arcade standpoint. Again, you're not going to get immersed into the game narratively or its world or anything like that, but as far as gameplay goes, it shines there, and I would strongly recommend it. Next up, AI The Somnium Files, 80% off for $8. Fantastic mystery visual novels with a lot of intrigue. Solid soundtrack to this one as well. Kind of like a low-key banger as far as the soundtrack goes. Really likable main character in the Detective Kaname Date. Thought he was a great, kind of the leading role in the game. And overall, the game's really good from a story standpoint, and that's why you play these visual novels. It's very much narrative-driven, light on the gameplay, but for $8, I think this is a really good title if you know what you're getting yourself into. Speaking of which, Danganronpa 1 and 2 Reload, 80% off for $8. Danganronpa is awesome. Just, you gotta know, again, just like AI The Somnium Files, you gotta know what you're getting yourself into when it comes to Danganronpa. But if you're okay with story-driven games, again, games that are super light on the gameplay, Danganronpa is an interesting one because you do have this visual novel, detective-style implementation to the game, and then you have these class trials that play out pretty uniquely as well. It's a cool marriage of games, another title with a really good soundtrack as well. Definitely give this a look. If you're new to visual novels, I don't think this is all too bad of a one to start with. It's just, again, it has a lot of that Japanese quirkiness. So no, again, my main imperative when talking about these visual novels, just know what you're getting yourself into, and don't make it a Digimon Survive situation where people pick that game up expecting Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth or something like that, if you guys get that reference. But nonetheless, $8 for this is great. Valkyria Chronicles Remastered, 70% off for $6. Fantastic tactical RPG. Solid cast of characters with a solid story. I know some people found the cast in Valkyria Chronicles to be a little bit bland. I mean, yeah, they're kind of bland, but at the same time, they're also likable, like, regular kind of characters. Like, it's not like they have this in-depth story or anything like that, but it's a likable cast of characters, in my opinion, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. Now, some of the missions in Valkyria Chronicles, I know, really got people, like, a little bit tilted, but overall, if you really get to a point where you're super stumped, you can go online and you can find a guide on how to tackle a mission the most effective way possible, but even then, I found the game to be relatively straightforward to go through, but $6 for it. Think it's great. I would recommend this. I would recommend you to check out Valkyria Chronicles 4. Hopefully, at some point, Sega decides to port Valkyria Chronicles 2, and even better yet, Valkyria Chronicles 3 getting a localization would be fantastic, because that's the Valkyria Chronicles game where hardly any of you stateside have played it, because the game only came out in Japan, but there is a fan translation, and that game is just tremendous, and it's a shame that we don't have that game over here in the States. Not even the PSP release got localized, so that's just a bummer, but, Probably never gonna happen, but I can hope. But Valkyria Chronicles 1 for $6, great deal there. Next up, Mark of the Ninja Remastered, 55% off for $9. Mark of the Ninja is a great time. It's one of those throwback downloadable titles, and it was on the 360, never got a PlayStation release until this remastered version, but it's a solid action platformer. This remastered version is pretty good as well, includes some DLC, and the game's visual style is one that's actually aged really, really gracefully, so you know, even if you're playing it in the year 2023, I feel like the game looks really good from a presentation standpoint. It's got a nice look to it, and if you're a fan of stealth action experiences, you'll probably end up enjoying it. $9, you can say that's a little pricey. I think overall, that's a pretty good pickup for Mark of the Ninja. Next up, South Park The Stick of Truth, a 67% off for $9.89. It is available through Plus Extra. South Park is not a show that I have really given a big chance to. I watched a couple of the specials, thought it was absolutely hilarious. Really, I gotta sit down and watch more South Park because I find it to be absolutely hilarious. But circling back to this game, you know, even as a non-South Park fan, I played this game right when it came out. I don't even know what possessed me really to pick it up. Probably because I was like, hey, interesting RPG here, let me try it out. Hilarious. I was like laughing my absolute tail off playing this game. And then also, if you're a South Park fan, you'll probably enjoy this game doubly so. This game was actually done by Obsidian, the guys that brought you Outer Worlds, the guys that brought you Fallout New Vegas. Yes, they did a South Park RPG, and it turned out to be fantastic. In retrospect, I should have known. Obsidian working on an RPG with a South Park coat of paint, it probably should have been expected to be really good. I kind of didn't have all that information to me going into the release of the game, but man, it turned out to be really well done, and mechanically, like fundamentally as an RPG, like it's a well-made game, which makes it even more funny when you look at it. It's a friggin' South Park RPG that's also well-made. It's just a complete package when you look at it from that standpoint, but $9.89 for this I think is a great buy. Definitely would give it a look. Next up, Kingdom Come Deliverance Royal Edition, 80% off for $7.99. Now this game is a part of Plus Extra, but only the base game is a part of Plus Extra. The Royal Edition gives you a sizable amount of additional content. I believe it's like 5 DLC expansions, so it's a sizable amount of content. Now with this game, it's not going to be for everyone, but if you want more of a historical, realistic RPG, you'll find that with KCD. Maybe a game that's more akin to like PC gaming, but works fairly well on the PS4. Sure, could performance be better? I guess. Definitely it could be. I shouldn't even say I guess. But overall, a solid RPG that just does not get enough love. Done by Warhorse Studios and published by Deep Silver. I am curious if they do more with KCD as a franchise. You know, they laid a pretty solid foundation here, but you know, try this one out. $8 for the base game and the DLC. Content wise, you're getting a banger of a deal here, so definitely give that a look. We mentioned Metro 2033 yesterday as it's on sale for $3, but Redux for $6 is really good as you get 2033 and Last Light. This has been cheaper, mind you. It's been as low as $4.49, but overall, I would say that this is still a solid deal. I loved Metro 2033. Last Light is my favorite in the series, and these are really solid narrative-driven, atmospheric first-person shooters. Not super lengthy, but solid get-in, get-out type of experiences that I think overall you'll have a fairly good time with them. Next up, Shadow Warrior 2, 80% off for $6. It is also available on Plus Extra. Shadow Warrior 2 is just a great over-the-top first-person action game. Has co-op support as well if you do want to play it that way. But yeah, if you want to play it solo, you'll have a great time with it. Again, fast-paced, absolutely high-octane, visceral. Can't say enough good things as far as the gameplay goes with Shadow Warrior. You know, story is what it is, but overall from a gameplay standpoint, you'll have a good time with this one. Next up, Dishonored Definitive Edition, 75% off for $4.99. This includes Dishonored as well as the DLC packs for Dishonored 1. You know, Dishonored's one of those games that, yes, it was a big budget release when it came out back in 2012, and a lot of the times with big budget releases, you expect them to really go all in from a technical standpoint. However, Dishonored employed such a unique art style. It had like this darker, moody look to it that has aged actually pretty well. Like, I feel like Dishonored's still a pretty good looking game to look, you know, visually, just because of the style it is, even over a decade. I mean, it's been 11 years since Dishonored has come out, which is absolutely wild, and I am totally aging myself right now. But yeah, I love Dishonored 1. I thought it was a great game. So many different ways you can tackle the game as far as going the stealthy approach, going the action-heavy approach. Generally speaking, most people do find the stealthy approach to be the more rewarding way to play the game, but hey, that's up to you in deciding how to play the game, and that also lends the game to being fairly replayable. $5 for Dishonored 1. Great buy here. Next up, mentioned it yesterday, but Outlast Trinity, want to reiterate, it is down to $5.89 as a part of the store sale right now, but also, you'll save an additional 5% if you are a Plus subscriber. That takes it down to $2.94, which is a ridiculously good deal. That'll get you Outlast 1 Whistleblower and Outlast 2, so a lot of content for you survival horror lovers. I mean, if you're a survival horror lover, I mean, there's no chance you haven't checked out Outlast Trinity, but if you want to get more into the genre, this is one that, you know, easy recommendation, everybody would say, go and play it. Next up, Dragon's Crown Pro, 80% off for $4. This is, of course, a Vanillaware title. In my opinion, from I played all the Vanillaware games, this is the weakest to me. I liked Odin Sphere better, I liked Warmastered the Demon's Blade better, and I sure as hell liked 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim better. But Dragon's Crown Pro is still a solid action beat-em-up with that great art style that Vanillaware is known for. And for $4, you really can't go wrong with this one. You know, still a good time. It's just not Vanillaware's best outing, but still something you'll end up probably enjoying quite a bit. Next up, Titanfall 2, 78% off for $4.39. Such a weird percentage off. Nonetheless, $4.39 for Titanfall 2, quite good. Really good single-player campaign on this one, and that's probably why you would pick it up at this stage of the game. Is available through EA Play, but if you want a single-player campaign, you can get in, play through, and then move on. I mean, Titanfall 2 is going to give you a pretty good experience the whole way through. Who knows if Titanfall as an IP is going to be something that EA does more with. It's unfortunate that Titanfall 2, I mean, EA kind of like set that game out to pasture. Like, let's not even mince words. They let it compete with their own juggernaut of an FPS release in Battlefield 1. Not only that, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare came out right around the same time, and I believe Overwatch had come out just a few months prior. Like, what was EA thinking with this release? Like, you know, timing the releases of games is above my pay grade, but with Titanfall 2, it was just unfortunate what they did to it, because I think everybody that played the game would have agreed that this was a seismic improvement over Titanfall 1. I mean, you're throwing in a campaign right off the bat, so, you know, that gives you something else to sink your teeth into, but man, yeah, I just thought this game was sent out to slaughter, which is a really unfortunate fate of Titanfall 2, but still, if you want to play the campaign, I think it's worthwhile for $4.39. Next up, Darksiders Warmastered Edition, 80% off for $4. This is available in Plus Premium, but, you know, a lot of you guys don't vibe with that top-tier subscription service. Darksiders is a good game. Mind you, it shows its age, given that it came out back in, I want to say, 2010. I believe it was, like, January 5th or 4th of 2010. It came out, I believe, the same day as Bayonetta 1. Don't quote me on that, but, yeah, my memory is, like, sometimes I just memorize weird, arbitrary facts like that. Nonetheless, Darksiders was a pretty solid action-adventure game, has some vibes of Legend of Zelda, has some vibes of God of War. I hate to say that just because that makes you think that the game is at a much higher level than it is, but, you know, it's comfortably a notch or two below, you know, two of the most beloved franchises of all time. Still, gameplay is solid, story's interesting. I think for $4, it's a pretty good pickup. So, yeah, go check it out if you never played it. And then lastly, Shadow Tactics Blades of the Shogun, 90% off for $4 as well. Solid tactics-based title, not, you know, my genre of choice a lot of the times, but Shadow Tactics is a pretty good one. Great setting in the Japan Edo period, and yeah, solid experience there. Well designed, works well on the DualShock controls as well. But that's gonna do it for me. Again, a ton of great deals available right now. This sale, the March Madness sale, as well as the games under $15 sale, that is wrapping up here shortly, so definitely jump on it as soon as possible. But that'll do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.